What's going on, guys? Hope y'all are doing fantastic today. So I got a couple new fragrances in, and I just couldn't stand it any longer. I can't let them sit there. I need to do my first impressions with you. And the fragrances are the newest additions to the house of Kilian: Lheure Vert and Apple Brandy on the Rocks. So grab your favorite adult beverage and join me as we take a couple shots together of these new top shelf offerings from the house of Kilian. So stay tuned. Cue that intro. What's going on, my beautiful fragrance family, and welcome back to My2Scents. My name is Brian, and this is the show all about boosting your confidence through the art of fragrance and becoming a lasting scent memory. All right, so it's Sunday, and I know we normally do the whiffs of the week. I do my weekly rotation. Well, I'm going to take a day off and take an evening off and doing the weekly rotation, but don't you worry. As soon as I get done filming this and editing it and getting it posted, I will be doing the weekly rotation, but I'll be posting it on Monday for Labor Day. Speaking of new releases and fragrance-related content, do you enjoy it? I know you do, that's why you're here. So do me a quick favor, I want to invite you to join this stinking beautiful fragrance family. Hit that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you know when I'm posting new content. Throw me up as many of these guys because it helps my algorithm and helps the growth of this family tree. What are your thoughts on the new releases from Kilian? Did you try Angel Share? Did you try Roses on Ice? Let me know in the comments down below. That out of the way, it's time for us to get into today's. I need a bath, I need some chow, and then you and me gonna sit down and talk about who dies. Whiffs and sniffs. I've been super excited to get my nose on these two brand new fragrances from Kilian. I love the Liquors Collection. I think it's brilliant what they're doing with the Liquors Collection because you're looking at about $50 less than the normal presentation and bottles from Kilian. These were $195 each, though a normal Kilian 50 ml is about $240. So you do save some money here and you don't lose any quality, which I really enjoy. I absolutely loved Angel Share. I absolutely love Roses on Ice. And yeah, I'm really excited to get my nose on these. And I just couldn't hold it anymore. I was like, I've got to do my first impressions with the fragrance family. So here we go. I'm gonna start out with Apple Brandy. I have not tried Apple Brandy, the original, but I'm really excited to see what they have done with this Apple Brandy. Here we go, here's the presentation. All right, Apple Brandy on the front. It looks just like the Angel Share and Roses on Ice box. Bottom, you have batch code information, the rest of your legal stuff. Then you open it up like so. I love these bottles. I absolutely do. The one qualm I do have about it is the plastic tops, but it doesn't bother me. I understand why, just because I think this would be probably a little bit more expensive than their $240 mark if it had a glass cap. But I love these bottles, and that color, that juice looks really good. It actually kind of looks like Apple Brandy. Batch code information on the bottom. Going straight on skin with these. I don't know what the notes are. I haven't watched any reviews, so here we go. Ooh. Oh. Okay, so the boozy aspect. So when I hear booze in a fragrance, I think some of us reviewers and some of you who are listening to us hear us say booze, like it's gonna be like harsh like booze. That's more of like a medicinal harshness. It has a little bit of that, it stings the nostrils. And yes, I used it again. Why? I didn't say it right last month, so. All right, so I'm getting some like pineapple up top. Whatever that pineapple is blended with, I'm gonna guess maybe some bergamot. It kind of just starts giving it that juicy apple. So Sidonie Lancashire is the nose on this fragrance. I do remember that. I did read all the press on it, and Sidonie is one of my favorite perfumers, and I believe she did the original Apple Brandy. Sidonie is using the same aldehydes in Apple Brandy as she did with Vodka on the Rocks and Roses on Ice. So it's kind of cooling, chilling up top. Nice. There's some really nice woods coming through. I get a little bit of like a rum. That's really what the booze, a lot of the times when you get these boozy fragrances, rum is the ingredient or accord that they're using. And this doesn't really smell very synthetic at all. Though I know there are some synthetics in it, it smells very natural. It smells really good. There's a really nice cedar coming out, like a beautiful cedar. It's got some really clean musks in it as well. And it's starting to really smell like a nice chilled apple brandy, but now it's starting to warm up. There's also some ambrox in it, and that's really also helping kind of create this creamy woodiness to it, along with that cedar. One thing I was hoping for a little bit more is I'm using some white woods, like some oak, because I don't really get an oakiness, but I am starting to get just a tad of like a char. Man, this is really good. Okay, so that's apple brandy. So I'm gonna go ahead and let that dry for a little while. We're gonna go ahead and do Lheure Vert, which also means happy hour as long as there's chilled absinthe. So yeah, green hour, happy hour, batch code information on the bottom. Man, I love these bottles. These bottles look awesome because they look like a really nice, beautiful crystal rocks glass. So we're gonna go Lheure Vert on the other hand. And oh my God, first of all, the absinthe in this is probably one of the most realistic absinthes I've smelled. The booziness is done amazingly in this. Oh wow, I mean, that is such a good absinthe. It's wormwoody and licoricey. It's wow. Lots of greenery surrounding this absinthe accord. So I read the press on this, and Matthew Nardine is the perfumer, which I believe this is his first fragrance that he's ever done with Kilian Hennessy. But man, that absinthe is gorgeous up top. Nice wormwood, licoricey. Oh, it's beautiful. It has this really nice earthy violet leaf or patchouli, possibly both. Man, and the vetiver in this. Vetiver is so nice. Almost like a hay-like vetiver with some really nice woody nuances. Man, this is the most interesting absinthe fragrance I've ever smelled. It's brilliantly done. So I'm gonna let these dry down for a little bit, and then I'm gonna come back and give you my 2 cents on them. So stay tuned. Okay, so it's been an hour. Man, I gotta be honest. I gotta tell you guys, I really like both of these fragrances. But we're gonna start out with Apple Brandy. Apple Brandy. Now, it starts out with this kind of nose-tingling medicinal alcohol sensation, which I thoroughly enjoy because it reminds me of taking a sip of apple brandy. Now, it starts out with pineapple. I get a lot of pineapple. And then whatever other citrus that is there with it, it starts melding into this really nice apple accord. So I guess they use pineapple, and I'm gonna guess bergamot, to try and mimic the smell of apple, and they did a fantastic job. Because once that pineapple starts going away, and this isn't gonna be pineapple like Invictus, but then when it transforms into that apple, you start getting these really nice vanillins coming in. Really nice ambery sweet vanillins, and I get a touch of a char, like barrel char. Now there is a predominant cedar note in this. They did add a little bit of char in here, and I don't know exactly what that's coming from because you just get just a little bit of smokiness sitting in the background. I mean, it's not a lot, but what Sidoni did is she created such a very photorealistic apple brandy on the rocks because there are those aldehydes giving it this really nice chilled nature right up front, like a nice effervescent chill. Booziness is really coming from rum, and it has a little bit of spiciness to it, but it's more like a Caribbean rum. It's more sweet than spicy. So apple brandy, yeah, I think it's fantastic. Lheure Vert. This one is my favorite out of the two. I really thought apple brandy would like take the cake, but Lheure Vert, holy moly. All right, so I might geek out just a little bit on this one. The absinthe in it is so realistic. It is so stinking realistic. I don't know if I've ever smelled a fragrance that had an absinthe accord that is this realistic. So it's very licoricey right up top, but that starts melting down and becomes a little bit sweeter. It's also got that kind of chilling effect coming from those aldehydes. As it starts drying down, you start getting what I think has got to be either violet or violet leaf. It's got a little bit of that petrol. Just a little bit, not a whole lot, but it's very green. It reminds me so much of an actual glass of absinthe because all you're thinking about is green because there's a lot of green facets going on. And when it starts drying down even more, the vetiver is amazing in this. Matthew Nardine did a fantastic job with this fragrance. Once that vetiver comes in, it's this beautiful, dry, hay-like, woody vetiver. And what it reminds me of is actually going to your local pub, your local bar, something that's been around for many, many years. The muskiness that's coming from the vetiver and the woods that are in this is done so well because it really reminds me of sitting at a bar that's been there for hundreds of years, soaking up great conversation, soaking up so much banter, and soaking up so many amazing smells. It truly reminds me of happy hour. It's crazy. This is such a well done fragrance, and the absinthe in it, that wormwoody licoricey note, it has stuck with it for an hour now. But man, it's just a beautifully done fragrance. I've never smelled anything like that, and it really takes me somewhere. So Lheure Vert, fantastic. If you like vetiver, if you like a good boozy fragrance, Lheure Vert is fantastic. It just is. Apple Brandy is also fantastic. If y'all want to see a full review on either of these fragrances, leave me a comment down below. If I get enough comments, then I will definitely do it. But man, I'm thoroughly looking forward to taking some more shots with these guys. They're stinking good. So these are available at Lucky Scent. That's where I purchased mine. And I believe they are doing samples of them. So I would definitely get a sample, test drive these. But if you are a fan of the Liquors Collection by Kilian, these are fantastic. These are great additions to the Liquor Collection. I like Lheure Vert the most so far out of all four of them. Yeah, I can't wait to wear that. So that is it for me this evening, guys. I will be back at you tomorrow morning with the whiffs of the week. So stay tuned for that. I hope y'all have a fantastic rest of your day. Be safe this Labor Day weekend, no matter what you're doing. But always remember, you are stinking beautiful. And until next time, happy scent trails.